even their souls are tormented. Narcissists actively make other people sad. Indeed, another bad thing that can happen after narcissistic abuse is the loss of joy. This video will show you why narcissists want to bring you down and how they hate it when you're happy. Stay tuned, because at the end I'll talk about the routines that keep me and my subscribers happy and bring it back. New viewers, welcome to my channel. Come on over to my channel, Narcissist Exposed. These videos are meant to help you deal with bad situations in a biblical, practical, and spiritual way. If you like this and want to hear more from me about bad relationships, click the bell and the subscribe button to be informed when I post a new video. Every time I start a new topic, I define the word narcissist. This word is used a lot, and it seems like everyone is a narcissist. Narcissists, on the other hand, constantly show a number of narcissistic traits, such as arrogance, smugness, using others for their own gain, anger, lack of support, lack of empathy, an obsession with success, fame, power, beauty, being jealous of others, and more. Narcissists act in selfish ways their whole lives because their emotions aren't stable. Let's start. Narcissists don't like happiness, so why do they? There are two answers. First, narcissists don't like it when you're happy because it makes them feel weak. Narcissistic personality disease means that a person can never fully control their emotions. They depend on other people and outside things to help them deal with their bad feelings. They try to control other people's feelings because they can't control their own. That's why narcissists lie and cheat. They do a lot of sneaky things to get into your life and use your emotions against you. Narcissists feel threatened when you find joy, happiness, and satisfaction that they can't take away. They see your happiness as a sign that they can't control you and may lose power because of you. Unfortunately, narcissists think that being happy and being in charge can't go together. Fear is a good way to control people. You worry about ending your relationship with a narcissist because they love bomb, devalue, and withdraw all the time. They scare you by ignoring you, getting angry, and making threats. They know you won't leave if you constantly walk on eggshells to avoid setting off another episode or because you're afraid of being emotionally or physically abandoned by the narcissist. Narcissists try to get you to believe that you can stay on their good side by meeting their emotional needs. They do this by giving you good times and bad times, loving you and ignoring you, praise and punishment. When you find happiness or satisfaction outside of the narcissist, you can handle their withdrawal better. Being happy shows that life is bigger than the narcissist. Your interests and hobbies are a promise to yourself and to the natural desire to learn and grow that God gave you. The narcissist, on the other hand, sees a lot of signs that you don't need them for mental support like they do. When you show that you are happy, the narcissist may lose control and have angry outbursts, silent treatments, or depressed episodes to teach you that being happy is dangerous. Narcissists also can't stand it when you're happy because it makes them look weak. Narcissists are weak, even though they act big and fake the future. They are very afraid of being hurt. In order for them to feel accomplished, they have to compare themselves to others and not come up short. In many ways, they put down, ignore, and devalue other people's success, power, and happiness. These are just a few of the many ways this can happen. A child is happy about getting a grant because of their hard work, but their narcissistic parent scolds them for not doing better. It's time for a selfish partner to say, "Time." It looks like they're dropping the bar there. That's great that you showed them you were worth it. You get it. They might bring up failures or other issues that aren't connected to your progress to stop you. Covert narcissists might act in a more subtle way. They might try to make you feel bad for being happy or hurt your confidence. When you're happy, covert narcissists may complain about how bad things are for them. They might make you feel bad for being happy when they're not, and they might demand that you show love and loyalty by being sad too. When you meet a fitness goal, the covert narcissist might ask, "Are you sure that's healthy?" To make you feel less sure of yourself. This strength isn't normal for you. Don't hurt yourself or you'll keep going after you finish something, right? That's cool, but you're still a beginner, or not like you did last time. Not a big deal. Someone who isn't selfish will say something like, "I was surprised you had the guts to speak up since you're only an assistant manager," or "Thanks for speaking up, even though you don't have much experience around here," when another person at work gives a great idea. That you contribute when your smarter coworkers don't is something I like about you. Both overt and subtle narcissists use these techniques to make you feel bad about yourself or like you don't deserve to have fun. When a narcissist hurts your happiness in public, your brain and mind learn that happiness is bad. Over time, your body turns down happiness. One of the things that narcissists hate most about relationships is that they are competitive. A game with no winners or losers. The relationships they have either helped them or hurt them. It must be awful to live alone and miss out on enjoying other people. You might remember the narcissist's nice gifts and compliments. In those good old days, they may have told you how great you were. They might have meant for you to be happy. What did happen? Love bombing is what it is. During this stage, the narcissist would do anything to make you happy, not because they're happy for you. Their goal is to make you happy all the time. If they bring you most of your happiness and pleasure, their leaving is even more shocking and upsetting. This is what gives them power. When a narcissist tries to get you back after a breakup, they may talk about how much they want to make you happy during the hoovering stage. They are no longer kind once you say your happiness doesn't include them. What should you do? Many of the men and women I've worked with and I have used these techniques to find joy again. They work whether you're just starting a relationship and your partner wants to be the center of your feelings, you're being punished for being happy, or you've ended a bad relationship but still can't find joy. 1. Find people who are happy for you. Don't let the ego keep you from the people who love and know you. Fear and control work best when you're by yourself. Not have that group of people? Find one. You could have friends from church, moms from your kids' school, coworkers who know how smart and capable you are, a gym buddy who celebrates every set and cheers you on for every rep, or a counselor, teacher, or therapist who can help you build healthy relationships. 2. Write down your happy times and successes. Narcissists can use their power over you to make you feel less happy or even turn your happiness around. Over time, it makes you lose your personality. People who have been abused by narcissists often forget about the things they like to do. Narcissists take away happiness, so it's hard for them to be happy when they reach their goals. When you're being gaslighted and put down, it's important to have written proof that you can be happy, that you deserve to be joyful, and that you have, can, and will do things that are worth celebrating. Talk to a friend about it if you can't think of anything to write. 3. Praise. The Bible says that Jesus Christ brings the most joy. John 15 verse 11 says, "I have come so that your joy may be full." Psalm 47 says, "You have put gladness in my heart more than in the season when the grain and wine increased." Pretty, huh? God's joy is endless and greater than natural success, and He gives it to us. People in the Bible find happiness by reading the Bible, praying, worshiping, dancing, and singing. All of them are about being with God, where there is a lot of joy. 4. Don't try to change the narcissist. No matter how hard we try, we can't change other people. Don't give up your own happiness to make the narcissist happy. You can feel bad that they weren't there to share your happiness. But don't let them drain your energy as you try to please them. 5. Be thankful. Even though it's a cliché, be thankful. Make your phone tell you every day to write down 5 blessings. Learn how to say thank you by watching others. Do more than just enjoy the nice weather. Say or think, "Thank you, God, for such a beautiful day," or simply, "I'm so grateful to have the sun on my skin today." Over time, this will feel normal, and being thankful will make you happy. 6. Make being happy a habit. Emotions are like muscles. To believe someone, it helps to feel more of one emotion. If we don't use our happy muscle for a while, it takes time to get it back. Don't give up or rush, though. Don't force yourself to be happy all the time, just like you should only use safe weights at the gym. Be patient as you find happiness again. How fast you heal doesn't make you who you are. I hope these tips were useful. To get more of my work, click subscribe and bell. Leave any other tips for staying happy in the comments below, and I'm sure they'll help other people. This is the end of my movie. Thank you very much for looking. Thanks, and I hope to see you in the next video.
Narcissists will cut ties completely after you do this one thing, because it could hurt them. Hey there, friends. Ever felt that burning desire to stick it to that self-absorbed nuisance who's been a constant thorn in your side? It's beyond frustrating, isn't it? You're boiling with rage, feeling like you've hit your breaking point. But guess what? I've got a sneaky little trick that might just blow your mind. Ready for it? It's called the no contact rule. Sure, you might have heard about it before, but let me tell you why it's an absolute game changer. You see, narcissists thrive on attention, validation, and admiration. It's like oxygen to their flame. But when you cut off their supply, it's like yanking the rug out from under their feet. Suddenly, they're left floundering, desperate for a hit to their fragile ego. Going no contact. It hits them where it hurts the most, right in their sense of self-importance. Imagine having all those ego-boosting goodies stripped away from you. It's a real gut punch, and they just can't handle it. And the cherry on top, going no contact. It's a piece of cake. Just walk away and don't even glance back. That's how you emerge victorious. So, my friends, resist the temptation to engage with a narcissist. Rise above the drama, safeguard your inner peace, and focus on your own healing. You deserve so much better than the pain they've put you through. And trust me, on the other side awaits happiness and joy, just waiting for you to claim them. Hey there, I've got a little treat just for you. Narcissism 101, recognizing the red flags, breaking the chains, and taking back your life. This gem is chock full of all the tools you need to bounce back stronger. Simply click the link below and dive right in. Picture this. You've been dealing with a narcissist who's been a thorn in your side. But suddenly they hit a snag, you. Your reactions fade, leaving them high and dry. They can't manipulate you like before. By cutting off their emotional supply, you reclaim control of your life, no strings attached. Now they're left hanging. They're used to people bending over backward for them, taking their energy for granted. But not anymore. When they realize you're no longer under their spell, it's a rude awakening. They can't handle it. You've reclaimed your sense of self. Bam! You've hit them where it hurts. Ever had your favorite treat snatched away? Makes you crave it even more, right? It's human nature. We want what's out of reach. Narcissists are no different. Cut off their emotional lifeline, and suddenly you're the forbidden fruit. They'll try everything. Texts, calls, or even sending their cronies to lure you back. Narcissists couldn't care less about your boundaries or personal space. All they want is what they desire. So when you pull away, they ramp up the pursuit. It's like their brain tells them the one thing they can't have is what they need the most. And for someone craving emotional validation, attention, and energy, that's a tough pill to swallow. These folks thrive on toying with your emotions. They scrutinize your every move, searching for any signs of attachment or affection. They'll push your buttons without a second thought, unaware of how invasive they're being. Their goal? To reel you back in at any cost. They'll try making you jealous or playing mind games, all in hopes of eliciting some emotion from you. Negative vibes like jealousy and anger are their go-to. Positive feelings are too fleeting for their liking, so they stick to what they know best. Negativity. It's a real head-scratcher, isn't it? They hunger for your attention, yet when they finally snag it, it's all negative vibes. So when they come knocking, remember, the real power lies in saying no. Taking back control of your emotional well-being slams the brakes on their game, giving you the upper hand once again. Narcissists, the masters of bringing negativity into your life like it's their specialty. It's like they're programmed that way or something. Their motto seems to be, if I'm feeling down, you should be too. In their twisted logic, it's payback time, making you taste the same bitterness they do. If they catch a whiff of your happiness or success, jealousy kicks in prompto, because they're not the star of the show. Then it's game on, a twisted competition you never signed up for. And if they sense they're losing, they'll ramp up the punishment to keep you under their thumb, playing mind games, toying with your emotions, all to assert their dominance. Why? Because for them, it's all about being king of the hill, calling the shots, and feeling like they're superior. It's like they're trying to fill a void from their childhood. So when you're in their orbit, they're pulling out all the stops to fit their distorted narrative. When you cut ties with a narcissist and stop catering to their emotional needs, it's like their whole world crumbles. They're left clueless about your feelings or your next move, which really throws them for a loop. Their entire interaction with you hinges on your reactions, which is seriously messed up. They're essentially pulling your strings to make you feel and behave as they please, and that's just plain cruel. But here's the twist. You could shower a narcissist with attention and validation all day long, and it still wouldn't be sufficient. They're like emotional vacuums, constantly craving validation. They rely on it to keep themselves afloat, which is seriously twisted when you stop to think about it. They'll drain you dry with their unending demands, always yearning for more from you. But you can't be at their beck and call 24/7. Sooner or later, you reach your breaking point, unable to keep up with their emotional needs, even though they'll keep stacking them up. It's a toxic cycle, and the harsh reality is, it won't change as long as they have a steady stream of emotional energy. And why should they bother about your happiness or their actions when they're getting everything they desire? It's a challenging situation to navigate, but the crux of the matter is, you must prioritize your own well-being. Escaping from a narcissistic relationship feels like finally stepping out of a perpetual thunderstorm. The aftermath lingers much longer than the relationship itself, far longer than you ever imagined possible. They had such a grip on you, it's like you've lost sight of your true self. The key to reclaiming your life and emerging from the shadows is to fully commit to no contact. Listen up, I'm dead serious. It's about as tough as it gets, but it's absolutely crucial for your own well-being. It's your chance to armor up and shield yourself from any further harm. Sure, it might get a bit messy, especially with shared business interests, assets, or custody arrangements in the mix, but trust me, it's doable. You don't owe them every ounce of your emotional energy any more than you owe your boss your entire life story. Keep your interactions strictly professional, sharing only what's absolutely necessary. Don't give them the satisfaction of knowing they still have a hold over your emotions. That's like handing them a golden ticket to waltz right back into your life. Let me spill the beans. Narcissists are masters at burying their feelings deep down. They see emotions as a glaring vulnerability that could threaten their grip on power, and that's the last thing they want. It's all about control, pulling the strings behind the scenes, and scripting every single scenario. They have zero interest in building anything meaningful with you, despite any surface-level attempts to persuade you otherwise. To them, you're just a means to an end, a pawn to provide them with money, time, or that precious emotional validation. They couldn't care less about you as a person. In their warped reality, you're nothing more than a disposable tool to be used and discarded at their convenience. But here's the silver lining. There's a way out of this madness. You don't have to navigate this minefield alone or feel like you're stranded on an island. Help is within reach, and you can absolutely tap into it. Consider diving into my free courses or taking advantage of my one-on-one consultation recommendations. All the details are waiting for you in the description below. Don't soldier through this battle solo. There's a supportive tribe out there ready to rally around you. So let's kickstart your journey to healing and stride forward together.
When Satan weakens in narcissists, then they will collapse forever. Greetings, and a warm welcome back to the illuminating realm of understanding narcissism. Today's feature delves into a pressing inquiry. What unfolds when a narcissist faces collapse? What catalysts lead to their unraveling? Throughout our lives, we all encounter moments of psychological anguish, or what one might term an emotional implosion. Before delving into this inquiry, allow me a brief preamble. Consider, for instance, the sting of failure in endeavors dear to our hearts, despite our utmost efforts, or the shattering of our emotional fortitude through heartbreak. Such experiences can render us crestfallen and beleaguered. Yet, let us differentiate between the common human experience of emotional turmoil and the specific phenomenon of a narcissistic breakdown. It resembles an unchecked mental upheaval, akin to an uncontrollable cognitive collision. While some of these upheavals may endure fleetingly, others may persist for prolonged durations. To grasp the intricacies of a narcissistic breakdown, one must apprehend the frailty of a narcissist's self-concept. They incessantly crave attention, validation, and adulation, driven by an insatiable thirst for affirmation. Not only do they harbor a sense of entitlement, but they also exhibit a flagrant disregard for others' welfare. Narcissism manifests in multifarious forms. The grandiose narcissist embodies these traits as a habitual demeanor, exuding arrogance, dominance, and a profound aversion to constructive critique. Conversely, the vulnerable narcissist demonstrates signs of despondency, perpetually casting themselves as victims, ensnared in the web of guilt and hypersensitivity to rebuke. Regardless of outward demeanor, we often discern a plethora of maladaptive defenses erected to shield their fragile self-perception. The evasion of responsibility and obligation often stems from this propensity, leading individuals to deflect accountability onto others for their actions, attitudes, and motivations. Yet, these defenses inevitably crumble when faced with circumstances where they prove ineffectual, particularly within certain interpersonal dynamics. The responses to such collapses vary among individuals, though narcissists typically undergo a torrent of intense emotions, ranging from seething anger and frustration to profound anxiety, debilitating sadness, and even a sense of desperation. What occurs when these protective barriers falter? What precipitates a narcissistic unraveling? Primarily, it may stem from experiencing embarrassment, especially if the situation unfolds publicly. This could involve encountering failure, having one's mistakes pointed out by others, becoming the subject of ridicule, or feeling overwhelmed and uncertain about how to proceed. Employing intellect, feigning wisdom, or assuming an air of righteousness fails to elicit the narcissistic adulation they crave. Humility eludes narcissists, particularly when confronted with the superiority or expertise of others. Their fragile self-image hinges on external validation, compelling them to seek constant approval to bolster their sense of importance. Perceiving themselves as anything less than faultless or exemplary leaves them feeling vulnerable, a sensation they struggle to endure. The acknowledgement of their imperfections serves as a stark reminder, undermining their facade and exacerbating their internal turmoil. The unraveling of a narcissist can also be precipitated by the erosion of their public image or social standing. Exposed for their deceit, Machiavellian schemes, and reprehensible conduct, they find themselves unable to salvage their tarnished reputation, regardless of attempts to shift blame, inflate their self-importance, or adopt the victim narrative. Such circumstances may plunge them into a state of despondency, fueled by the consuming emotion of shame. Moreover, the looming prospect of losing their prestige, social standing, or facing exposure intensifies their distress. The realization dawns upon them that their actions or words carry consequences, prompting apprehension. In a bid to deflect attention from themselves, they concoct myriad excuses or diversions, yet these efforts prove futile in ameliorating their predicament. The gnawing fear of impending loss of status paralyzes them, rendering them incapable of action. The prospect of a future devoid of adulation or envy engenders such profound anxiety that it impairs their ability to function in the present moment. Indeed, the mere thought of relinquishing their illusion of uniqueness and entitlement serves as a potent catalyst for their downfall. They confront the sobering reality that they are not as entitled or exceptional as they perceive themselves to be, and that no special privileges await them simply for adhering to societal norms. Their expectation of unwavering admiration or preferential treatment crumbles under the weight of equitable treatment, a revelation they misconstrue as unjust persecution. Their already fragile confidence and compromised self-esteem further deteriorate amid such tribulations. Resorting to tactics like spreading rumors, portraying themselves as victims of injustice, throwing tantrums, or employing stonewalling techniques, they seek to assert control over their perceived mistreatment. Their relentless pursuit of regaining a semblance of power over their circumstances knows no bounds. However, their efforts to regain their selfish gratification prove futile as their grandiose plans crumble or lose efficacy. Regardless of their perceived uniqueness or supposed omnipotence, their assertions fall on deaf ears, met with indifference to their purported intelligence, attractiveness, or virtues. The absence of enablers, sycophants, or confederates exacerbates their plight, leaving them adrift in a sea of isolation. Perhaps the tide turns as people cease to believe their fabrications, relegating them to oblivion. Devoid of admiration or intimidation, they find themselves bereft of the validation they incessantly seek, descending into desperation. Their reputation precedes them, and their futile attempts at evasion only lead to further humiliation. Eventually, the simmering resentment and anxiety transform into excruciating anguish. Many deeply narcissistic individuals remain oblivious to others' emotions, either by choice or incapacity to empathize. This incapacity may evoke feelings of shame and vulnerability in their interlocutors. Despite professing profound distress, their inability to articulate the source or nature of their anguish betrays a fundamental lack of self-awareness. The absence of empathy renders them oblivious or indifferent to others' perspectives, unable to comprehend why their desires remain unfulfilled or why some individuals thrive in their absence. At best, they shift blame onto others for their suffering, perpetuating a cycle of self-delusion and emotional isolation. Certainly, individuals entrenched in narcissistic traits often resort to deflecting responsibility or alleging unfair treatment, struggling to acknowledge their own role in precipitating the circumstances. Their attempts to mitigate the stress of collapse may manifest as desperate, irrational, or hastily conceived actions aimed at escaping the pain and shame rather than addressing the root cause. Occasionally, they may offer apologies, albeit more out of remorse for the consequences rather than genuine contrition for their actions. Amidst the chaos of collapse, some may recognize the need for change and seek assistance, yet the depth of their commitment to self-improvement hinges on the extent to which their ego is entrenched. The crux of the issue lies in their steadfast adherence to defensive mechanisms, deflecting blame away from themselves and consequently obstructing genuine introspection and growth. Persisting in repetitive patterns without internalizing lessons learned perpetuates a cycle of stagnation. Those with covert narcissism may exploit their fall from grace or ensuing sadness to garner attention or sympathy, even resorting to leveraging social media platforms for validation. This encapsulates a succinct overview of the phenomenon known as narcissistic collapse. Your insights are invaluable, and I welcome any additional contributions in the space provided below. These discussions often catalyze thought-provoking conversations. If you found this discourse engaging, consider subscribing to my channel for more insightful content. Thank you for your viewership, and until next time.